I'm Ricc Rollins, and this is Going Places. Don't you want to come along? Let's go. Hello and welcome to this edition of Going Places. Have we got a show planned just for you? We stop by the Global Beauty and Med Spa in our business spotlight. Then it's off to the movies we go with Alicia Stafford to see Sonic the Hedgehog 2. We talk with Alan Mostel about his recent trip to the Ukraine as he captured the images of the Exodus. But first up, Marlon Boone tells us about his appearance tonight at Jazz Under the Stars. Take a look.
First of all, welcome to Going Places. We're excited that you're here. So we'll start now. So there are musicians, and then there are real musicians. And who I'm about to introduce you to is a real musician. In the church, they say that there are people who sing, and then there are people who sang. Then, so I guess there are musicians who play, and then there are musicians who play. This guy plays. Welcome to Going Places, Marlon Boone, saxophonist, musician extraordinaire. We're glad you're with us, Marlon.
Well, thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay. So Marlon, let's talk about the first time you realized that you loved music.
That's to go back to my early childhood. Just waking up every Saturday morning to clean house, and my dad would always have on Grover Washington. And I'm a huge Grover Washington fan. But every Saturday morning, that was like our routine. Back then we had the 45s, so you put the 45 on, and that's what woke us up. We got up, we started cleaning up. We know if we didn't clean up that day, we weren't gonna be able to leave the house. So I wanted to go outside and play, so I had to clean up first.
Okay. And so what's your favorite Grover Washington tune?
Favorite to this day is still Mr. Magic. That is just like the classic Grover tune.
Yeah, I had the honor of interviewing him on my birthday one year, and he played Happy Birthday for me.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I have to find that clip sometime. So you grew up around music, loving music. So when did you pick up your first instrument, and was the sax your first instrument?
I picked up the first instrument, I was probably 8 years old. My dad played saxophone.
Oh, wow.
And he had stopped playing at the time. He was just working, and the saxophones, he stored them in my room closet. So I always take them out, play with them, try to set them up and make noise with them. Didn't know what I was doing. So he saw that I had taken a liking to it. Clarinet was his principal instrument. So he started teaching me how to read music first. Then he gave me a clarinet, and I started on clarinet. So from age 9 up until I went to middle school at age 10, I played clarinet.
Okay. So do you still play the clarinet at all?
No. I got to middle school, I started getting teased by all the guys that I was playing the clarinet. And I went home, told my dad, I went back to school the next day with the saxophone, and I haven't put it down since.
Oh, wow. And are we glad you haven't? Okay. So you start playing, and when did you realize that you wanted to play before audiences, not just for your classmates or not just at the local school pageant, but that you wanted to play and this was a part of your profession?
I would say my first paid gig before I actually saw a major concert, I had an aunt named Ginger Rogers. She's passed away now, but she was a singer out in Vegas for many, many years.
Okay.
She had moved home and hired me and my dad to play sax in a band that she had a corporate event for. I may have been 15 or 16 at the time.
Oh, wow.
And so after that experience, I knew that that was for me. Following up with that solidified everything. I got to see Kenny G live at a show, and I was hooked ever since.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny G will inspire anybody. I mean, everybody that I know loves Kenny G. So you got to play. You got bit by the bug, because now the vocation was making room, or as the scripture would say, the gift made room for you, and it
Right.
paid you. And so after that first gig, did you know deep within, this is what I want to do forever?
I can't say that it was forever at that time,
Mhm.
but definitely the passion for it was there.
Okay.
I just enjoyed it, and I probably was too young to understand that that's what my life dream would be, playing the saxophone.
Mhm.
I came from a small town, and there wasn't a bunch of exposure to many different things. So for me, it was a learning process. And I think once I got into college, that's when I really realized that, I plan on doing this for a very long time.
So where you said small town, where'd you come from, Marlon?
Pahokee, Florida.
I know Pahokee, the Muck.
Yes, I'm from the Muck.
You know, I have some really good friends there. My godmother lives in Pahokee.
Okay.
So where'd you go to college?
I attended Bethune-Cookman University.
Okay.
Back then it was Bethune-Cookman College.
I was gonna say back then it might have been
Yeah,
BCC.
BCC.
Did you march?
I did 4 years there, and then I transferred to Florida State as a fifth-year senior.
Okay. Okay. So did you play in the marching band at BCC? Or now BCU?
I was in the marching band. I am one of the original 5 horsemen.
Okay.
For the drum majors, they're very popular now. So I'm one of the original 5.
So you didn't play, you conducted.
I started out playing.
Okay.
My freshman year, I marched in the band with the saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
And then my sophomore year, I became drum major. So I was drum major for 3 years.
Okay. And so you went from there to Florida State. Of course, that's my daughter's alma mater. So you know I love a good Seminole. And so how did we go from there to today? How did we get to today? To this, what got you to this place, Marlon?
To this place.
Go ahead. Yeah, and then I got to go back to a question. It's something that go ahead. Go ahead.
To this place, I mean, I'm so inspired, and my drive is just being in front of a new audience, or being in front of new ears, as I like to put it, new ears.
Wow.
And just the response that people give me after I've performed, or they hear me play. I can be in the airport, somebody will walk up to me and be inspired by my playing, or their dad played and it reminded me of their father or grandfather. Oh, wow. And so those small little stories like that, it's very touching for me. So that keeps me driven to just be in front of ears, or be around ears.
Okay, so that's what takes me back to the question. So you mentioned passion. Is music the passion, or is performance the passion?
For me, it's the music itself.
Okay. Good answer, sir. Good answer.
I've been told many times that my playing is so felt.
Yes,
I'm not
it's moving.
Up there, so you feel it. There's a movement through my performing.
Yes, it is.
The performing side of it is another entity that I work on that and add that to it. But for me, it's the music.
That's amazing. So now you said you are always looking for new ears, which brings us to why we're doing this interview. Tonight, you'll be playing at Jazz Under the Stars.
Yes.
Or Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks, and Jazz with the Z Entertainment. So that starts at 7 o'clock. So what time will you hit the stage?
Probably about 7:30.
Okay, so everybody needs to be there by 7:30. You all know Arlene Brooks because she's been on the show before, and so this is a part of I call it the Arlene Brooks joint. And so in turn, we want to make sure that you all are here. The information is coming up on the screen. And Marlon, I want to make sure they met the man that will be making the music along with your band this tonight. And there are tickets still available. Look for the QR code that comes up on the screen right about now. And for more information, there'll be another QR code that comes up that you can find out more information about Marlon. Thank you for being with us, and I can't wait to hear you play. These ears have been blessed to hear you play. but I'm coming with new ears to hear what you do this time.
All right, I'm looking forward to it and look forward to meeting everyone.
Okay. Take care, Marlon. Thanks for joining us. More Going Places right after this.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. All season long, we're spotlighting local businesses. This week, we shine the spotlight on the Glowmore Beauty and Med Spa. We recently talked with Kimberly Blackman and Tiara Cotman Ross about what makes the spa so special. Take a look.
I was waiting.
Shameless plug. We've known each other for 5 years, and she knew I was a nurse practitioner. I knew she had a spa. We were just talking, and we were like, we need to collaborate, and so we can grow the business and become a med spa. So the med spa portion of it is because there's medical services.
And those services would be what?
So for me, I do Botox, fillers, vaginal rejuvenation. We have a weight loss program. Yes, we have an IV hydration. And then there's another couple of things that are in the works.
Okay, so the weight loss program.
Mhm.
It's me. No, what does that entail?
There's different components. One of them, it is a medication phentermine. We use that with a mix of B12 injections. So that's one option. Another option is what we call liquid lipo. It's just a series of injections into whichever area you want to help dissolve fat. So there's a couple different options.
Okay, so let me ask you this: as a man, is this a spa or is this a place that I would want to come? You said permanent hair removal. If I wanted hair gone on my face, would you be able to do that and it not come back?
Correct. We offer laser hair removal for all skin tones as well as electrolysis. Now laser doesn't work on gray hair, so electrolysis would be the follow-up option for that.
Did you just?
But we can laser.
Wait. Did you just shade me on my own show?
I did not. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm kidding. I love, as we've discussed, I love my gray.
Yeah, you love
it comes in other places that I'm like, why are you covering that? But wait, okay. But you said something earlier that you created this because there weren't a whole lot of anestheticians that looked like you. So therefore, those of another hue may not know how to treat someone that is melanin infused like we are. So
correct. So
have you found that people try to use someone else that did not necessarily specialize in people of color? And I noticed you said repair. So have you had to do that as well?
Oh, yes. A couple times a month, but a lot of people, they'll go to places and, they'll like these chains. I won't call out any in specific, but the people will talk them into getting, say, like a chemical peel or a certain service that's not conducive to melanated skin. Our skin will either get lighter or get darker once it gets damaged. And so it's much more obvious on us versus fairer skinned people, if that makes sense. So it can cause a lot of damage, but they do this all day long on Sally Sue Joe, but you do it on Shamika and Letitia, it's not going to have that same effect. And so I deal with a lot of clients that come in to fix what was done, or they deal with, they have trauma. They're scared to get something done again because they had XYZ done and it turned out bad. So it's a lot of educating goes into the process of teaching people how to treat our skin. We aren't taught how to that we should use sunscreen, that we should be washing our face 2-3 times a day. that's something my parents didn't teach me. That's something that a lot of people aren't learning. And then you have these teenagers dealing with, say, like acne and things, and nobody, they're just going to get some Cetaphil, some Neutrogena. They go get what they see on TV or what's easily accessible at the drugstore. So it's a lot of education that goes into it as well. So I really like value that.
And I think that's one of the things that it's necessary. There may be someone watching today that says, well, why did they need? Because again, as you said, you mentioned something when we were talking. What was the thing that they skim over when you're in your clinicals? You mentioned
so they skim over our skin type pretty much, because the vast majority of people going to school to learn this are Caucasian or other, and so there's not a lot of us going through. Now there is, but there's not a lot of research done on African American skin. So the sections that they cover for what is considered Fitzpatrick 4 through 6, which is your more Indian or olive tone skin and darker, there's not a lot of education that goes into that. It's basically like, be careful. That's really the gist of it. It's be careful.
Be careful. Wow. Well, not only are you careful, you care, and that's wonderful. And so I think that it's great that you offer all of these services. And how can they find out more information about you?
Well, we're on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram. It's Glowmore Beauty, GLOWMOUR BEAUTY. On Facebook and Instagram. We're pretty active on social media. I like to get on there and act the fool. I like to try to show off my personality as well as the staff, while also educating about the services that we offer. We're always running specials and deals. We're located in Seminole Heights in Tampa, Florida, on MLK and North Boulevard. If you go to any of our social media or even Glowmore,
that's you.
Huh?
I pass that place all the time. I did not realize that was you. Oh my goodness.
Yes, cousin.
And I love the fact that you are in the height of the heights. Yes. That's okay.
Yes.
So is there a website?
Location's key.
Is there a website?
Yes. GlowmoreBeauty.com.
Okay, so right about now it's coming up as a QR code. And after the show, we'll talk about and we're going to come up with a special for our Going Places viewers. So that'll be included in as well. Again, I am so proud of you. Okay, I've known Tiara since she was an embryo, but at the same time, because she is my cousin, and Kimberly, I feel like your family now as well. So I want
she is.
I'm so proud of you both.
Like grandma was in here, everybody.
And so we want our viewers to know that there's a business you want to support local. Here's one to support, and they will not only repair and restore, but they'll refresh and rejuvenate. Again, thank you for joining us, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Going Places continues right after this.
Hi, I'm Arlene. Welcome to Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. What's your coffee saying? Whether in for business or just getting away, let Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks be a part of your day. Life is moving, visible with color, sound, and community. Enjoy a cup of coffee at Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Coffee Speaks and Tea Talks. Enjoy life one cup at a time.
I'm Alicia Stanford. Let's go to the movies. Family fun is just over the horizon with Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Robotnik is back.
I've discovered the source of ultimate power.
We need to get it back or the world is doomed.
Sounds like a pretty tall order, but if anyone can do it, our friend Sonic the Hedgehog can. He's battling his old enemy, Dr. Robotnik, but he's got some help to do it. His old friend Tom, played by James Marsden, is always there to lend an ear and some advice.
Trust me, there will come a moment when your powers will be needed. But you don't choose that moment. That moment chooses you.
I just got goosebumps. Wait a second, did you steal that from Oprah?
Plus, he's got a new sidekick.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Name's Tails. Unfortunately, the evil Robotnik has his own evil furry helper.
Where are my manners? Sonic, meet Knuckles.
The battle for the fate of the world is one of high adventure, including some crazy action scenes that are best left to animated characters. Even with some punchlines clearly meant for adults, the film does drag. There are some nice messages about friendship that viewers of all ages can enjoy. Jim Carrey is at his over-the-top best as an evil genius. Oh, and the voice of Knuckles? That's none other than Idris Elba.
Also opening this week is Aline, a film based on the life story of singing legend Celine Dion, and All the Old Knives, a thriller starring Chris Pine and Tandy Newton. Stay safe and healthy. I'm Alicia Stanford, and that's what's going on at the movies.
Recently, I had an opportunity to speak with photographer extraordinaire and Bradenton resident Alan Mostel about his trip to the Ukraine. It was there that he captured the faces of the Exodus. I think that you'll not only find the interview intriguing, but the images moving. Take a look.
When I tell you that our next guest has gone somewhere, it has been, his journey would not have been the same had he not chronicled it. I'm sure his life has changed forever, and I'm not speaking for him, but I know that mine would be. Won't you welcome to Going Places, Alan Mostel. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alan, I was reviewing the pictures, and we'll get there in a few moments and share those with our viewers, but you touched me in a way that, as a photographer, I only like photography that moves me. This moved me, and I'm fighting tears right now because some of the images just reminded us that this may be a world away, but these are our brothers and sisters, and I thank you for chronicling this as only I'm sure you could.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
So what made you decide, I need to go do this? Let's start there.
Well, it's just an evolution of work that I've been doing for years, chronicling issues of human rights and social justice. I mean, I am a commercial photographer with a studio in Bradenton, but my passion is photojournalism and documentary photography. And the subject matter that I'm drawn to and focus, thousands of hours over the years is and issues that are human rights related. And when the war began in Ukraine, there was no question I had to go. I had to witness it. I had to document it. I've been drawn to these issues for many years. I spent quite a bit of time at the Mexico-U.S. border, on both sides of the border, photographing migrant issues there. And this was a similar situation, but the scale, the magnitude of it was far greater than I've experienced before.
So did you walk in knowing what to expect, or did it shake you in a way that you hadn't even expected, seeing all that you've seen in your
Yeah. So I knew a little bit about what to expect because prior to making the trip, I'd gone on Facebook and I joined a couple of groups, Facebook groups that are people at the border and communicating with others as to, giving people a little bit of the lay of the land. So I had some idea, but it was pretty overwhelming when I got there. The sheer scale, the sheer magnitude of the number of refugees that I saw, a constant stream coming over the border at Medica, which is the largest border crossing between Poland and Ukraine, and it never stopped, 24/7. It was just people were coming by bus, by train, by car, by foot. A constant stream of refugees, and they were being processed and moved to other locations inside Poland as quickly as they could. But the lineup to get on the buses that were supplied by the Polish government was a 24/7 operation, and the lineup never seemed to end. Kudos to the Polish army. We're doing a fantastic job. They were running the operation, the transport operation. They did a good job. The biggest contrasts that I saw, as I said, I've spent a lot of time photographing migrants at the U.S. southern border. First of all, was the fact that there were no men. It was 95%, 98% women and children. All the men had stayed behind to fight.
To fight.
So all of these women and children and were grappling not only with their life-changing and circumstance of having to flee their homes with little more than a bag or two and the clothes on their back.
Wow.
They were also, desperately afraid for their husbands, brothers, and sons who they had left behind. So there was just this added layer of pain and distress. Go
ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, and when I was, migrants that I've dealt with before, despite the fact that they're going through deprivation and suffering, there's also this undercurrent of hope about the new life that was completely absent in this situation. There was no sense of excitement. There was no sense of hope about building a new life. This was just pure suffering and
exhaustion
and shell shock. It was just that these people had not been living in a situation where there had been any preparation for this whatsoever. This is not something that they had planned for, that they had expected. They were not living in a part of the world where war is part of the fabric of society in the Middle East or elsewhere, where this was literally people who were living lives like you and I, all of a sudden under brutal assault, military assault, and forced to back up and flee, leaving everything they know. Yeah,
and everyone with
everyone.
Wow. And like I said, the images that we're going to share with our viewers. I'm going to tell you right now that Alan has masterfully chronicled everything he just talked about. When you see it, if you don't feel it, there's something wrong with you.
You can see these images on my website, which is alanmastel.com, and just go on my website, and they're all there. There's a couple hundred images that you can scroll through on that website.
Eventually, be a book. Do you think?
Potentially, I've done books on the migrants in Matamoros, Mexico, and I did a book on street portraits in Cuba. So yes, potentially.
Well, know that the first copy.
Yes, sir. I guarantee it. Signed and sealed for sure.
Alan Mastel, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks,
I look forward to anything that you do. Know that you've always got a place to come and share it. And thank you for taking us places that I didn't think we would go, but you took us there this morning. Thank you, sir.
Well, we're almost out of time, and I want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Going Places. Remember, you can see encore episodes of Going Places every Saturday and Sunday morning right here on Tampa Bay's MOR at 5 a.m. Set your DVR. Special thanks to all of our guests. Remember to support all of our businesses. And as always, we're going places, and we want you to come along.